Namaste. Welcome to yoga. Just a reminder to listen to your body, stop and grab water whenever needed, modify, do no harm, and to just breathe. Traditionally, yoga breathing is done in through the nose and out through the nose. However, breathe the way that's most comfortable for you. Drawing your shoulders back and down, hands down to your sides, closing your eyes, and just letting your feet fall away from midline. Relaxing your neck, your face, those lips, and allow the breath to just flow. Breathing in and breathing out. Settling into your mat. Feeling the chest rise and fall. Then we're going to slowly purse those lips together. And breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If this is challenging for you, breathe the way that's most comfortable for you. If you have an injury, letting me know now, but knowing that this is your journey. So challenging yourself, listening to your body, modifying as needed. So we're going to slowly draw one knee in, followed by the other. Then we're going to press your feet up towards the ceiling, hands down to your sides if they're not there already. And just imagine that you're lifting the roof off the foundation of the walls. Just an easy stretch, keeping your head and spine still on the mat. We're going to pull your shoulders down, away from your ears, scooping those abs in, and pressing your feet up. Then here, we're going to point your toes. Then, once again, flexing your feet and pressing through the bottom of the foot, the feet. And then once more, we're going to point your toes, and then pressing through the bottom of them. Then we're going to bend your knees and bring your knees back in towards your chest. We're going to reach around and either grab along your shins or under your knees. And then we're going to pull your knees out towards each armpit to escape your rib cage. We're going to bring those knees back together, and then we're going to roll over to one side and push up to a seated position. So we're going to cross our legs, sitting on both sit bones. Eyes are closed. We're going to draw your shoulders over your hips and ears over your shoulders. Sitting, but lengthening and sitting tall. Letting those shoulders roll back and down to allow the breath to be expansive. Then slowly open your eyes and soften them so you're not focused necessarily on anything or anyone. Then inhale, circle, sweep up. We're going to bring your palms together. Take a look at your fingertips as they reach the ceiling. Thumbs at heart center. Fingertips back up towards the ceiling. We're going to go easy twist to the right. So bring your right hand down into your shoulder, left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Inhale, circle, sweep back up. Take a look at your fingertips as they reach the ceiling. And then easy twist to the left. Right hand is going to come outside the left thigh, left hand to your shoulder. Eyes are open and look over that left shoulder. Inhale, circle, sweep back up. Hands at heart center. We're going to make our way to a tabletop position. So place your hands shoulder width apart, knees hip level apart. We're going to come to rest on the top of your feet, on those shoelaces. Soften your elbows and take a look forward. So just lengthening that neck. Now, once again, pull your shoulder blades down. Scoop those abs in and find this true tabletop where your weight is equally on hands and knees, right and left. And then we're going to lift right arm, left leg off the mat for spinal balance. So reaching, extending in opposite directions. And then make your way back to tabletop. Inhale, left arm, right leg. So keep the right elbow bent. Reaching, extending, putting those right toes towards the back wall. Make your way back to tabletop. Pull your belly button in, right arm, left leg. And back to tabletop. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Last spinal balance. And then coming back down to tabletop. Now here, we're going to tuck your toes under and pause. So toes are tucked under, we're going to press your feet back. Just a chance to stretch the fascia. Bend your elbows, scoop your abs in, and bring your knees off the mat to hover. Then we're going to lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling and shift your weight back in the balls of your feet. So easy transition to stretch through the fascia, through the spine. We're going to come back to hovering tabletop. So we're going to bring your knees right over the mat, shoulders right over your wrists, and look forward. Engage more core. Holding here, but press your feet towards the back of the room. So a chance to stretch your fascia. Engage your core. We're going to hold for 5 and 4 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly lift your sit bones back up towards the ceiling. You shift your weight back on the balls of your feet. Easy stretch. Starfish hands, so separate your fingertips. And then we're gonna come back to hovering tabletop, shoulders over your wrists, knees are bent, look forward. So lengthening your neck. Then draw your shoulders back. Pulling your belly button, we're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll lift up to downward facing dog once more. Then we're gonna walk your hands back to join your feet. So as many hand steps as you need to come towards the back of your mat. The space between your legs, eyes are open, take a look behind you. So your neck is free to hang. We're gonna shake it yes and no. And you're gonna bend your knees, inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center, we're gonna bend through your knees and your hips. Fingertips down to the mat, so bend your knees as much as you need to bring your fingertips to touch the mat. Eyes are open and take a look behind you. Then once more, inhale, circle sweep back up. Hands at heart center, we're gonna bend through your knees and your hips. Eyes are open, take a look behind you. And then we're gonna shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Then inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center, bend through your knees and hips. Final time. Pausing for a moment in this forward fold. Then inhale, circle sweep up. Arms are long, we're gonna sit back in a chair. So drop the weight in the balls of your feet, wiggling your toes, and imagine that you've come behind you with a chair. Wiggling your toes. So sink down through your hips. Eyes are open and take a look at your fingertips as you reach towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room. But keep your back straight. Now scoop your abs in. We're gonna shift forward, so you're gonna root all 4 corners of your feet and press up to tall mountain. So keep your arms long, reaching the ceiling to keep that heart rate elevated. Press your pelvis forward, squeeze your glutes, and easy back bend. Eyes are open, take a look at the ceiling above you. Sit back down in a chair, so shift the weight back in the balls of your feet. Sinking down, think about where your knees are tracking. They tend to want to track inward, track them more towards your middle toes, and sink through your hips. Then we're gonna press up to tall mountain. Tuck the tailbone under, arms are long, with or without a back bend. Sitting back down in a chair. Wiggling your toes. We're gonna shift forward, bring your hands at heart center, and now bring your heels off the mat. So still staying in chair, just shift the weight forward and lifting your heels off the mat, engaging more of your calves. Then we're gonna draw your shoulders over your hips, let your knees shift forward and sink down. So listen to those calves. Listen to your knees. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's forward fold. Plant your feet. Bring your fingertips to the mat, so bend your knees as much as you need to. Take a look behind you and shake your head yes and no. And then inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center, we're gonna bend through your knees and your hips, forward fold. Pausing for a moment, take a look behind you. Twice more, inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center, bending through your knees and your hips, here's forward fold. Pausing for a moment, and then inhale, circle sweep up. Hands at heart center, bending through your knees and your hips, this forward fold. We're gonna sit right into chair. So shift the weight back in the balls of your feet, wiggling your toes, and drop your tailbone down. Arms are long, reaching to the ceiling, and sinking through your hips. Now take a look where your fingertips are reaching. If you want, you're gonna bring your hands at heart center, but you're still gonna look up. So your choice. Keep the back straight. As soon as you start to take your gaze down, you start to lift your sit bones up and you start to round your spine. So keep your spine long. We're gonna turn your knees out slightly, wiggling your toes, so you're sinking through your hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press forward through your toes and then lift up. So you're rooting the 4 corners of both feet for your extension, your tall mountain. And then we're gonna swan dive down all the way down. Now take a look at the top of your mat and we're gonna walk your hands forward. So as many hand steps as you need. Draw your shoulders over your wrists, starfish hands. And then if you need to, walk your feet back to come into your plank. So just the back of the toe should be in contact with the mat. Elbows are tucked behind you. Slightly bent and look forward. So lengthen your neck. It's easy to look at your hands, but you know they're there. Now using your toes, you're gonna press your feet back. So engaging your quads, trying to lift your sit bones up a little higher so you're not sticking through your hips. Feel free to come down to your knees, leveling it out. Your choice. We've got 5 to go for a plank. Pull those abs in. Lift your hips up slightly more. And then lower yourself down. Here's 4-point step. So you're gonna come down to the mat. Here's your check. Elbows should be tucked in, squeezed in. If not, your hands are too far apart. So repositioning them. And then use your knees or not. We're gonna come back to downward facing dog. So your transition is up to you. Draw your knees back and releasing those heels to feel the stretch. Then coming forward to plank. More upper body here. Press your feet back. Elbows are bent. Do a slight drop. The drop is subtle. It just checks in where your elbows are. Using more of those triceps, pull your belly button in. We got 5 to go here. Holding that drop for 3. Breathing for 2. And 1, we'll come back to plank and back to downward facing dog. So feel the distinct shift from plank to downward facing dog. Coming forward to plank. And then here, 4-point step. Straight down to the mat. Squeeze your elbows in. Flat down to the mat. Then I'm going to come back to downward facing dog. I'm going to draw your heels back and just feeling the stretch of your fascia. Across those Achilles into your calf muscles. And then you're going to step your right foot back. So pointing your right toes towards the back wall, maybe towards the ceiling, but pulling your left knee back. So you're really feeling the stretch. Then you're going to bring your right foot to join your left. Rooting your right heel and step your left foot back. So pointing your left toes, pressing your left shoulder down, pull your belly button in, and draw your right knee back. So feeling that stretch. The extension of your left leg to build some heat through that hip. And then bring your left foot to join your right. I'm gonna come forward to plank. 4-point step, straight down, squeeze those elbows in. Here's your check of your hands, and press back to down facing dog. Use your knees or not, your transition. And then we're gonna step your right foot back for 3-legged dog. And you're gonna bring your right knee towards your forehead. So draw your forehead in, turn around and flex your spine like a cat, and then step back. Draw your left heel back, so you're feeling the stretch along your left leg. You're reaching through your right toes. Then take a look forward to the top of your hands and step your right foot through 1 or many steps. So listen to your body, however you wanna transition into lower lunge. Find just the back of your left toes and charge your left leg back. Then just keep your arms back and up and come to high lunge. So draw your shoulders back and reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Feel free to come down to your left knee, your choice. Take a look and make sure you see your right big toe. If not, you're gonna reposition that foot. And then you're gonna cartwheel those hands on the other side of your right foot and step back to downward facing dog. So step the right foot back. Then we're gonna step your left heel back. So rooting the right heel, pull your right knee back. Reaching through your left toes to build some heat through the left side. Pressing that left shoulder down so you're not rotating through the torso. And then you draw your left knee towards your forehead. Pause for a moment, scoop those abs in. Run and flex your spine like a cat. And step back to 3-legged dog. So pull the right knee back. Take a look at your hands and step your left foot through. So 1 or many steps. And then step through the lower lunge, charge your right leg back. Roll your shoulders back, and then sweep your hands back and up, come to high lunge. So draw your shoulders back to feel the groin stretch. Feel free to come to your right knee. If you're off, you're gonna press your foot back. Look down to your left big toe. If not, you're gonna reposition your left foot, or at least turn the knee and track more towards that middle toe. So you're engaging all 4 of those quad muscles. Then we're gonna cartwheel those hands and step back to down facing dog. We're gonna come forward to plank. Here's 4-point steps, so lower yourself straight down. Squeeze those elbows in and press back to down facing dog. Then we're gonna come forward to plank. We're gonna shift forward, and here's your chaturanga. Squeeze those elbows in to bring your chest over your thumbs and make room into cobra. Roll your shoulders back, come to rest on the top of your feet, your shoelaces. Press those top of the feet to the mat to feel your knees come off the mat. So you feel more in your lower back. Roll your shoulders back and bring your hands off the mat. Here's active cobra for 5. You're gonna bring your hands down the mat. We're gonna tuck your toes under and pull your belly button in because you let your belly go. Pull it in, and we're gonna press up to plank. Use your knees or not. We're gonna come back to plank. So draw your shoulders over your wrists, press your feet back, neck is long. We have 5 to go here. Lift your hips up. We tend to start sinking, and then come back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. Bring the right knee in towards your forehead. Pause for a moment. Scoop those abs in. I'm gonna step back. Take a look at your hands. We're gonna step your right foot through. Here's lower lunge. Both sets toes facing forward. Sweep those arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your shoulders back. Press your left foot back. Feel free to come down to your left knee. Now we're gonna draw your elbows out to your sides to open up your chest. Palms are gonna face forward. Bring your ears back. Now we're gonna come down to your left knee if you're not already, but keep those left toes tucked under. Holding here, we're gonna press your left foot back. So really engage your quads, feeling the stretch of your fascia. Now in one movement, we're gonna come off your left knee, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So you're gonna come up into a lunge, and then we're gonna cartwheel those hands on the other side of your right foot, and step back to down facing dog. We're gonna flow it. We're gonna come forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze those elbows and lowering your chest. Make room for cobra, and then back to down facing dog. Pull the belly in. We're gonna step that left foot back. Pull the right heel back, right knee back, Reach your left toes towards the ceiling. Then you're gonna bring your left knee towards your forehead. Pause for a moment. Draw your forehead towards your knee. Really round and flex your spine like a cat. We're gonna step back to three-legged dog. Then take a look at your hands. We're gonna step your left foot through. Here's lower lunge. So both sets toes facing forward. Sweep your arms back and up. Come to high lunge. So draw your shoulders back. Feel the groin stretch. Think about where the right knee, on the knee or off. Now we're gonna draw your elbows out to your sides and press that right foot back and then come down to the knee. So keep those toes tucked under. Bring those ears back to feel the groin stretch, but feel the quads as you press that foot back. Scoop to engage your core. Now one movement, we're gonna come off that right knee, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Come up to high lunge, there's that balancing aspect. And then we're gonna cartwheel those hands and step back and down facing dog. We're gonna float, we're gonna come forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your cheddar, bring squeeze those elbows in, use your triceps, cobra or up dog, and back and down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back. Bring the right knee towards your forehead, pause for a moment, round and flex your spine, and then step back. Take a look at your hands. We're gonna step your right foot through one or many steps, right into that lower lunge. Sweep those arms back and up to high lunge to get your momentum to bring your shoulders back and towards your left leg back. Bring your elbows out to your sides. Draw your shoulders down. Open up your chest. You're gonna come down to your left knee. We're gonna stay here for a moment. So press the foot back, really engage the groin. We're gonna draw, keep your here and lower body, bring your hands at heart center, and draw your forearms parallel with the mat, because we let your elbows sink down. Press your palms together. Now you're gonna engage your chest muscles. Press, press, press. We're gonna, in one movement, we're gonna bring your fingertips up, keep your hands together. We're gonna bring your fingertips up to the ceiling and come up off that left knee. We're gonna cross your right thumb over your left, and then start to reach forward through your hands. Shift the weight more into your right leg and come on the tips of your left toes. Pull those abs in. You're gonna stay here in lower body and draw your elbows out to your side. So separate your hands and open your chest. We have 5 to go here. Press that left foot back, really engage to the hip. Open through your chest, draw those shoulders down. Pull the belly button in. We're gonna stay here lower body. We're gonna reach your fingertips back towards the front of the room, crossing the right thumb over the left, palms back together. Holding for 5 more. Press your left foot back. Feel free to come to your left knee. Bring your hands down at either side of that right foot. And then step back to plank. So you're gonna keep your hands here, keep your shoulders here, and step back to plank. We're gonna hold for 5. Bend your elbows, look forward, press your feet back. And we're gonna press back to down facing dog. And then we're gonna step your left foot back. So keep your right heel relatively rooted. Bring your left knee in towards your forehead. We're gonna pause for a moment, scoop those abs in. And we're gonna step back. Then take a look forward. We're gonna step your left foot through. Here's one or many steps. Balance, strength, and flexibility come into play. Find that lower lunge, sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your shoulders back. Feel the groin stretch. Pull those abs in. Then we're gonna draw your elbows out to your sides, open up your chest. Bring your ears back a bit, and then come down to your right knee. Press that right foot back. Hands at heart center. Press your palms together. So don't let your elbows come down. Press, forearms are parallel with the mat. Scoop your abs in. Engage your chest here. In one movement, we're gonna come off your right knee, bring your fingertips up towards the ceiling. We're gonna cross your left thumb over your right. Then we're gonna reach forward through your fingertips, come the tips of your right toes. So shifting more of the weight onto your left thigh. Pull those abs in and reach your fingertips forward. We're gonna keep the lower body here. We're gonna separate your hands, bring your elbows out to your sides, open up your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull this belly button in. Now press your right foot back so you're not sticking through the knee. Feel free to come to your knee, you're either up or you're down. We're gonna bring your fingertips back up towards the front of the room, crossing your left thumb over your right. Press your right foot back. We have 5 to go here. And just slowly bring your hands down either side of that left foot and step back to plank. So finding your plank, your choice is to stay here. We're gonna slowly bring those knees down to tag the mat And then we're gonna come back into plank. So engage your core to come out of that transition from the touch to plank. Then we're gonna come down to 4-point step, straight down to the mat. Bring your big toes together and coming back into child's pose. So drop your sit bones back. Then we're gonna tuck your toes in or come back to downward facing dog. Forward to plank. 4-point step, straight down to the mat. Big toes together, back into child's pose. Pull your belly button in. Tucking those toes under, coming back to downward facing dog. Once more through. From downward facing dog, we're gonna come forward to plank. 4-point step, straight down to the mat. Big toes together, back into child's pose. Sitting back down. Tucking those toes under, come back to downward facing dog. We're gonna walk your hands back to join your feet. So as many hand steps as you need. Here's forward fold. Here's the back of the mat. We're gonna pause for a moment and take a look behind you. So what this does is let your head hang freely. So your neck doesn't need to really do any work. We're gonna shake it yes and no. Rooting your toes and heels and lifting your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Now we're gonna bring your hands onto your shins and we're gonna lift up halfway. So draw your shoulders back, come up halfway, and then back in a forward fold. So we started now with a straighter leg. Not worried about where your hands come to rest. You can grab opposite elbows, hands on your shins, hands can dangle, but I want you to feel like you've got a straighter leg to stretch those hamstrings. And then we're gonna shift the weight back on the balls of your feet and sitting back in a chair. So we're gonna find that chair, spine is long, and take a look up. Wiggle your toes. So take the weight more into your hips. You choose to stay here, listen to your knees. We're gonna do a couple bounces. And then root your heels, root your toes. So 4 corners are well rooted and press up. So use your legs. It's easy to pop up. I want you to feel the press. Engagement of your legs as you come into your back bend. Deep or not. And then we're gonna swan dive all the way down. Once again, take a look behind you. We're gonna shake your head yes and no. Hands onto your shins. We're gonna lift up halfway. And then back in a forward fold. Fingertips are gonna rest wherever's comfortable for you. Really focusing, really feeling the engagement from your heels all the way to your sit bones. More you bend your knees, less stretch you're gonna have. And then shift the weight back in the balls of your feet. We're gonna sit back in a chair. Spine is long, sit back in a chair. And then we're gonna root your toes and heels and press up. Use your legs. With or without a back bend, your choice. And then we're gonna swan dive all the way down for forward fold. Take a look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk your hands forward, make your way to plank. And then from plank, we're gonna come down to the right knee, pivot your right foot behind you, kneeling side plank. So take a moment to place the inside of your left foot to intersect a line with the right hand, right knee, left foot. Stack your hips and shoulders and take your left hand to the ceiling. Choice is to stay here, bring your left foot off the mat. So trying to bring your left leg parallel off the mat and then press the foot towards the back wall. It's easy to let your left leg just come off, but I want you to commit to bringing it up and press, to engage across the knee. Now reach your left hand a little higher. So you're not just dumping the weight into your right shoulder, but you're opening through the chest. We're gonna make your way back to plank. So position hands and feet. We're gonna walk your feet back, find your plank, try not to sink through your hips, elbows are tucked under, look forward. So use your neck. Then you can choices to stay here. Feel free to come to your knees and stay there. We're gonna bring your knees down for the tag or the touch. Scoop your abs in and press back to plank. And then come down to your left knee, pivot your left foot behind you, kneeling step plank, going to the right. So again, setting up a line, left hand, left knee, right foot. Stack your hips and shoulders and reach your right hand up. Then bring the right foot off the mat. Press the foot back, lift it up high, engage to your hip. Open through your chest. Reach your right hand a little higher so you're not dumping the weight into your left shoulder. Take your gaze and look up. Then we're gonna slowly make your way back to plank. Bring the right foot down, right hand. Make your way back to plank. And then we're gonna come down to 4-point step, straight down the mat. Squeeze those elbows in. And we're gonna reverse it. Feel free to come to your knees. And then slowly bring up. Find your plank. Lift your hips up, press your feet back. Solid plank for 5. And then we're gonna come back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. With or without that, you can bend that knee and bring the right heel towards your left hip for half scorpion. Press your right shoulder down and draw your left heel back. So you're really feeling a stretch along your left leg. Half scorpion or 3-legged dog is your choice. We're gonna bring that right knee in towards your forehead, scoop your abs in, then take a look forward and step your right foot through. So finish that step through. Here's lower lunge. We're gonna sweep your arms back and up, come to high lunge. So draw your shoulders back and press your left foot back. We're gonna cartwheel those hands. We're gonna stay here. Bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your left hand right alongside your right foot. Pull your belly and take your right hand out to your neighbor. And then take a moment to stack your shoulders. Lift your right hand up high. Gaze follows and take a look at your right hand. Now draw your left leg back. So you're engaging through the hip, feeling that twist. You can choose to stay here or turn that right hand, bend the elbow and bring the back of the hand along your back to perhaps capture the left waist. That rolls that right shoulder back. Your gaze again is still following, looking up to the ceiling with that half bind or not. Half binds, we're gonna come back to full expression of that pose. And then we're gonna come out of that twisting lunge, make your way back to lower lunge, and step back to three-legged dog. So take the right foot right back for three-legged dog. And then bring the right foot to join your left. We're gonna come forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze those elbows in. Through to cobra. And then back and down facing dog. Pull the belly in. Then we're gonna release your right heel towards the mat to feel that stretch and step your left foot back. Your choice is to stay here. You can bend that left knee, bring your left heel towards your right hip. Lifting your left knee up to feel that half scorpion. Your choice, but pressing your left shoulder down. Now we're gonna bring your left knee in towards your forehead and pause. So whether you're in half scorpion or three-legged dog, hold for a moment, scoop those abs in, and then finish that step through. Bring your left foot forward. Find lower lunge, sweep those hands back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your shoulders back. Think where your left knee is tracking. Tendency is for her ears to be forward, bring them back. Then we're gonna cartwheel those hands either side of that right foot. Right hand is flat. Take your left hand out to your neighbor, and then take it up to the ceiling. So take a moment to set up that. Then reach your left hand up. Draw your right leg back. It's easy to sink down into your that twisting lunge, but I want you to be active, lengthening, reaching. Choice is to stay here. You're gonna turn that left hand, bend your elbow and bring the back of the hand along your back and capture your right waist. So roll that left shoulder back. Press the right foot back. Trying to look over your left shoulder, perhaps to the ceiling, remembering to breathe. Feel free to come to your right knee, but again, you're either down or you're up. You're not halfway. Half binds, we're gonna come back to full expression of that pose. Take your left hand back up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna come out of that twist, bring your left hand down, and step back to three-legged dog. So one or many steps, that transition. And then bring your left foot to join your right. We're gonna come forward to plank. And then here, we're gonna lower yourself halfway down. So halfway, elbows are squeezed in, look forward. Now we're gonna bring your knees down for the tag, and then press back to plank. So use your knees or not for that transition back to plank. Then back to down facing dog. We're gonna walk your hands back to join your feet, so travel to the back of your mat. As many hand steps as you need. Here's forward fold. You're gonna walk your hands up and make your way to mountain. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Feet are well rooted. Tuck your tailbone under. Close your eyes for a moment and lifting through your crown. So feeling the breath, well rooted equally in the right foot and left foot. Then we're gonna shift slightly over to your left foot. So engaging through that leg, that foot, and then bring the right foot off the mat. So feel the transition and then take it into a balance. Wherever you go, we're just working on the transition. Then we're gonna come back to mountain. Balance, it will differ from side to side, from day to day, from pose to pose. So rooted centrally, shift over to the right, pull your right knee back, anticipate all that weight transfer, and then bring your left foot off the mat. Now adjust. We tend to start to kind of roll more to that right side. So readjust. Leveling out your hips and shoulders. And then come back to mountain. On your mountain, root equally right, left. We tend not to stand this way. We tend to have a favorite. Then we're gonna shift slightly over to your left side, pull your left knee back, anticipate that weight transfer, and then bring your right foot off the mat. Really important to work on balancing, especially as we age. Then, if you're ready, we're gonna bring that right knee up 90 degrees. Now tuck the tailbone under. Bring your ears back and draw your left leg back so your standing leg is strong. You're gonna bring your arms up overhead if you can, palms facing one another. Fingertips reaching high, pull your shoulder blades down. Now pull the left knee back, your standing leg is strong. Now we're gonna kick your right foot forward. Just as we did in kneeling side plank, trying to bring that right leg a little higher and press to the bottom of the foot. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're gonna make your way back to mountain. So mountain, equally right and left. Again, we tend to favor one side, so really focus on being rooted equally. Think about where the ears are, shoulders, tailbone, abs, breath. We're gonna shift over to your right side, pull the right knee back, and then bring your left foot off the mat. So transfer the weight and then readjust. Then, if you're ready, we're gonna bring that left knee up 90 degrees. Arms up overhead, palms facing one another, and then pull your shoulder blades down, and then we're gonna kick your left foot forward. Just as we did kneeling side plank, trying to bring it up higher. It's easy to be low, I want you to bring it up. Really engage, do the work. Engage across the knee. Holding for 5. And then make your way back to mountain. So find your mountain. Again, weight equally right and left. We're gonna add on. Feel free to stay wherever you feel comfortable, with a bit of challenge. Equally, then shift over to your left side. We're gonna bring your right foot off the mat. Readjust, accommodate, trying to bring the right knee up 90 degrees, adjust, accommodate. Arms up overhead, palms facing one another. Fingertips reaching high and shoulder blades drawn down. Now kick your right foot forward. Again, high. It's easy to drop it down. Now we're gonna point your toes, we're gonna change direction. You can choose to stay here, or changing direction adds a dimension of challenge. We're gonna slowly step the right foot back, kick it back towards the back room as you hinge forward, reach those fingertips forward and kick your right toes behind you. Trying to level out your pelvis, pull your left knee back for warrior 3. It's a lot more core than we anticipate. So scoop those abs in. Try to kick your right leg a little higher. Holding for 5. And then we're gonna slowly change directions, bring that right knee up 90 degrees. Draw your left knee back, leveling out, and then come back to mountain. So a lot of different elements. Feel free to stay where you feel comfortable with a bit of challenge. Find your mountain, then shift over to your right side. Again, we favor one side, so be aware. Then when you're ready, bring your left foot up, readjust, accommodate. Bring your left knee up 90 degrees, adjust, accommodate. You can choose to stay here, arms up overhead. Arms are long, shoulders drawn down. Then kick your left foot forward. It's easy to be low, bring it high. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself tonight. You're gonna point your toes and change direction. Now kick your left foot through and back, hinging through your hips and reach your fingertips forward. Pull your right knee back, your standing leg is strong. And bring the left leg a little higher. Challenge it. Leveling out your pelvis, drop the left hip slightly. We've got 5 to go here for warrior 3, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly change direction. Bring that left knee up 90 degrees, tuck the tailbone under. Pull your right knee back, readjust, and then make your way back to mountain. So find the mountain, inhale, circle, sweep up. Hands at heart center, we're gonna bend your knees and your hips. Here's forward fold. Take a look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk your hands forward and make your way to plank. So find your plank starfish hands, press your feet back, neck is long, soften your elbows. We're gonna hold here for 5. And then we're gonna bring yourself down to the mat, 4-point staff here. Big toes together, we're gonna come back into child's pose. So scoop your abs in and drop those sit bones back. Hands are gonna stay reaching forward and pull your shoulder blades down. So as you pull your shoulder blades back, hands are rooted relatively. You feel the stretch across your upper back. As pulled in, we have 5 to go here for a hold. And then we're gonna slowly tuck your toes under and come up into downward facing dog. We're gonna come into warrior series. So we're gonna step the right foot back. Half scorpion is an option. We're gonna hold here for a moment. So I want you to pull your left heel back, pull your left knee back. So really feel the stretch along your left leg. Then we're gonna bring the right knee towards your forehead. We're gonna pause. So scoop your abs in, then look forward, and now finish it up and step your right foot through. Then we're gonna flip your left foot, rooting that left little toe, and pull your left knee back. So you're engaging your quads here. You're gonna sweep your hands forward, and then make your way to warrior 2. So take your fingertips to your right, your left. Then we're gonna bring your hands to your hips, and we're gonna straighten your right leg. Here's a check. Check the tailbone's tucked under. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. So we tend to kind of lean forward. Then we're gonna bring your arms parallel the mat, fingertips reaching to the front and back of the room, palms are facing down to start. Take your gaze a little bit over your right hand, and then through your shoulders, turn so both palms are facing up. So arms are long, we're trying not to bend through your elbows. Then take the right knee into a lunge. So draw the knee towards your middle toe. So you're not lunging through your shoulders, but through that right knee. So trying to bring that left shoulder back a bit, pull your left knee back, pull your abs in, and tuck the tailbone under. Make sure you see your right big toe. If not, we're gonna do a couple things. You can reposition your right foot, or just turn that knee out slightly. So you really want to engage and hold this powerful warrior two. We tend to start to sink into your left knee, so pull your left knee back. And we're gonna straighten your right leg, hands on your hips. You're gonna flip, you're gonna turn your right foot and turn your left toe, so we're gonna turn and take warrior two to the back of the room. So we're gonna draw your right knee back. We're gonna bend your left knee for a moment and then straighten it. So really feel, tuck the tailbone under, arms are long, palms are facing down, ears over shoulders, shoulder over hips, and take a look at your left hand. Through your shoulders, you're gonna turn so your palms are facing up, and take your left knee into a lunge position, tracking towards that middle toe. Now pull your right knee back. So try not to lunge through the left shoulder. It's through the left knee. We're gonna straighten your left leg, hands on your hips. We're gonna flip that left foot, flip the right toes. So you're gonna take warrior two, arms are long, palms facing up, to the front of the room. So you're looking forward, your left knee back. Now we're gonna take your right hand and reach forward. So move through your torso, take the right shoulder forward as well. And then bring the right arm inside your thigh and stack your shoulders. So you're gonna take your left into the ceiling, right hand down towards the mat, but not touching. Pull your left shoulder back. Pull your left knee back. Now take your gaze and look at your left hand. So you're gonna reach equally through your right hand and left hand. You're not going anywhere, but you feel the engagement, the stretch from your sternum outwards. Now from hot angle, we're gonna take your right hand forward and flip it. Take your right hand to the ceiling and draw your left hand behind your left leg. We're gonna straighten your right leg for a check, and then take it to a lunge. Now we're gonna cartwheel those hands and use either side of your right foot, turn those left toes forward. Here's lower lunge, we're gonna sweep your hands back and up, come to high lunge. Draw your left leg back, hands down, elbows out to your sides, opening your chest. We're gonna hold here for 5, think about your right knee is tracking, your left knee leg back. And then we're gonna slowly reach your fingertips forward, we're gonna cross your right thumb over your left, and then reach forward, come to the tips of your left toes, holding for 5. Hands down at either side of your right foot, and we're gonna step back to downward facing dog. We're gonna flow it twice through. We're gonna come forward to plank, shift forward. Here's your chaturanga, squeeze those elbows in, cobra or up dog, and back to downward facing dog. Pull the belly button in. Draw your heels back, then forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga, squeeze those elbows in, cobra or up dog, and back to downward facing dog. We're gonna step your left foot back. So rooting your right heel, half scorpion is an option here if you like. You're gonna bring your left knee towards your forehead, pause. Scoop your abs in. Then look forward and step your left foot through. Here's lower lunge. We're gonna flip your right foot, pull your right knee back and rooting your right little toe. Then sweep your hands forward and up and make your way to warrior two. So draw your shoulders back. Hands are gonna come onto your hips and we're gonna straighten your left leg. So check that your tailbone's tucked under, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Pull those abs in. Then we're gonna float your arms, fingertips to the front and back of the room, palms are facing down. Take your gaze and look over your left hand. Then turn so your palms are facing up. The rotation comes through your shoulders. Then take your left leg into a lunge. The left lunge comes through the thigh rather than your shoulders. So shoulders stay over your hips. Pull your right knee back. Pull those abs in, bring your ears back. Look down and see your left big toe. If not, we're gonna two positions. You can either turn your left foot, repositioning it, or turn that left knee. Then we're gonna bring your hands to your hips. You're gonna straighten your left leg. Flip your right foot, your right toe. So now we're gonna come to the back of the room. We're gonna come out of a lunge. Reach your fingertips to the front and back of the room. Palms are facing down to start. Tuck your tailbone under. Then gaze over your right hand. Turn so both palms are facing up. And lead with that right knee into a lunge. So the lunge comes through the knee rather than through your shoulders. Pull your left knee back. Pull those abs in. Roll your shoulders back. Rooting that left little toe. Bring your hands to your hips. Straighten your right leg. Flip your right foot. Your left toe. So you're now going to turn your body and look forward. We're going to reach your fingertips to the front and back of the room. Palms facing up. So feel that warrior two. You're going to come out of your lunge. Ears are shoulder, hips, tuck your tailbone under, and now come back into your lunge. So the lunge again comes to the thigh rather than your shoulders. So bring that right shoulder back, pull your right knee back. Now we're gonna move through your torso, so we're gonna take your left hand and reach forward. So let your left shoulder shift. Then we're gonna bring your left arm inside your thigh. Take a moment to stack your shoulders and reach in opposite directions. Gaze is gonna look at your right hand if you can. Let's pull your right knee back. And from your sternum, you're reaching equally through your right hand and left hand. So you're not going anywhere, but you feel the reach, the stretch. Then we're gonna take your left hand to reach forward. And then take your left hand to the ceiling and draw your right hand behind the right leg. So you're reaching opposite directions once again for reverse warrior. You're gonna straighten your left leg and then go back into your lunge. Feeling the stretch along your left side. And then we're gonna cartwheel those hands on the inside of your left foot. Turn, so both sets of toes are facing forward. Make your way to lower lunge and step back into downward facing dog. We have 2 strength series. Forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze those elbows in your triceps. Cobra. And then back to downward facing dog. Pull the belly button in. That's 1. Forward to plank. Shifting forward, here's your chaturanga. Squeeze those elbows in. Cobra or up dog. And back to downward facing dog. We're gonna walk those hands back to join your feet. Here's forward fold. Pausing for a moment, let your head just hang freely. We're gonna bend your knees and we're gonna make peace fingers to capture each big toe. So press your big toes into your fingers. So you're not dislocating your big toes are engaged. Elbows out to your sides. We're gonna let your head hang freely and use your biceps to pull your chest into your thighs. Lifting your tailbone as you're rooting those big toes. So you're gonna feel that stretch into your low back, into your hamstrings. Use your arms to pull you back. Now pull your knees back. Now here, wherever you're on your breath cycle, you let your breath out. Together and take a big breath in. And this breath out, I want you to pull your knees back. Lift your tailbone, rooting your toes more for 5. Breathing when you need to for 4. 3, adding that stretch more for 2. And 1, we're gonna release your big toes, coming out of monkey pose. We're gonna walk your hands up your legs. Then we're gonna bring your hands at heart center, press your palms together. Tailbone is tucked under. And simply breathing in and breathing out. We're gonna come back to mountain. We're gonna close your eyes for a moment. Check, ears over shoulders over hips. Rooted equally through right foot and left foot. Pull your knees back. And bend your knees, inhale, circle, sweep up. We're gonna swan dive down. So bend your knees only when you need to bring your fingertips down to the mat. We're gonna take a look forward and walk your hands forward into plank. So find that plank pose. And then we're gonna come down to our knees and then walk your hands back to tabletop. So you're gonna keep your toes tucked under. Find that tabletop position. Pull your belly button in. We're gonna shift over slightly to your right side and bring your left knee out for fire hydrant. So we've rotated through that left hip to bring a bit of heat. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make your way back to tabletop. So recenter, then shift slightly over to your left side. We're gonna externally rotate through the right hip and bring your right knee off the mat. Just bring a little bit of heat more to the right hip for 5, fire hydrant for 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna bring that right knee back to the mat. So make your way back to tabletop. We're gonna repeat that, but we're gonna do two repeaters per side. And then we're gonna go into pigeon pose. So tabletop is the neutral position. We're gonna shift over to your right side and bring your left knee out. So externally rotating through the hip. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we're gonna bring your left knee nearly back to starting position, but not touching the mat. So you're almost in a tabletop position, and then we're gonna externally rotate that hip once more, bring that left knee back out for our fire hydrant. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, maybe a little higher for 3, 2, and 1. Back to tabletop. So recenter yourself, then shift over slightly to your left side, and then we're externally rotating through that right knee, right hip. Bring that knee up. We're gonna hold for 5. Try not to, it's easy to sink down, so lift it up. Hold it and engage for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna bring the knee nearly back to start, but don't let it touch the mat. And then we're gonna externally rotate it once again. Bring that knee back up, maybe a little higher, challenging a little bit more heat here for 5. Last one for fire hydrant for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come back to tabletop. So recenter yourself. We're gonna pull those abs in around and flex your spine like a cat. So tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin under, lifting your middle back up high to the ceiling. And then we're gonna bend your elbows, let your belly hang. Tilt that pelvis and lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling as you look up. Now roll your shoulders back. Holding cow for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We make it back to tabletop. We're gonna walk your hands forward. Draw your shoulders now over your wrists. Toes are still tucked under. And then we're gonna bring your knees off the mat for plank. Holding plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling. We're gonna step the right foot back. And then we're gonna draw your right knee towards your right wrist. Right leg comes across your mat. Then walk your left leg straight behind you. We're gonna walk your hands behind your right knee and right foot. So just kind of set that pelvis down. Then we're gonna come down to left elbow form. So let your left hip slide forward a bit, followed by your right. So you're gonna feel the stretch along the right hip, right glute. Hopefully it's nice and warm from some of those chairs and lunges, a few of the fire hydrants we did. Feel free to come down to the mat with your forehead, stack fists together. If you like to head king pigeon, bending your left knee and bring the heel towards that hip. So your choice. Really focusing on that stretch of your right hip. Try not to roll too much to your right hip though. You really want to keep that left hip kind of slid forward a bit. And just remembering to breathe in and breathe out. Wherever in your best cycle, we're gonna let the breath out. And together we're gonna take a breath in here. And then this exhalation, we're gonna sink down a little bit. Let your left hip slide forward, challenging it. Not pushing into pain, but really challenging that stretch here for 5, 4, sink a little bit deeper, lower down, go for it for 3, 2, and 1. Now this is your side that needs a little extra love, you're gonna stay here. Otherwise, we're gonna slowly bring your hands back up underneath your shoulders. You're gonna tuck your left toes under, bring your left knee off the mat. Then we're gonna step your right foot back and kick back to three-legged dog. So pull your left knee back, so feeling that stretch, checking out your right leg, and then bring your right foot down and join your left. Find your downward facing dog position. And then we're gonna step your left foot back. Then we're gonna bring your left knee towards that left wrist, left leg comes across your mat. Walk your right leg back. So take a moment. We spent a bit of time on that side, so don't expect to be as deep as you are here just yet. We're gonna walk your hands behind your left knee, left foot. A moment to set your pelvis. And you're gonna come down to right elbow form, followed by your left. So just make your way into that stretch. Now we all have one side that gives a little bit more, needs a little bit more love. So be really present in this moment, not forcing it. And then slowly maybe making your way down a little bit deeper. We've got some time here, so we're not gonna rush it. But try not to roll to your left hip. Really focus on keeping your right hip slid forward to really challenge that stretch. You did the heat work, might as well do the stretch work. You can choose to stay here. You can bend your right knee and bring the heel towards your hip for that king pigeon pose. Now, wherever in your best cycle, we're gonna let the breath out. And this breath in, we're gonna breathe in, feeling your chest, and then this breath out, we're gonna go a bit deeper. Letting go, sink down, letting the right hip come a bit more. Now, going a little bit deeper for 5. Come on, wiggle a bit more, find that aha stretch. Don't go into pain, but knock on that door of that stretch work. Feel it, feel the work here. 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. If you need extra time here, stay here. As we're gonna tuck your toes under, we're gonna bring your hands underneath your shoulders and bring your knee off the mat to pause. Now core, we're gonna engage your core because we're gonna step your left foot back, kick back to three-legged dog. Shake, give it a good shake, and then come back to downward facing dog. We're gonna come down to our knees. We're gonna make our way onto our sit bones. We're gonna come onto our sit bones. Onto our true sit bones. So kind of take that extra padding there and come onto your sit bones. Not on your bum, but your sit bones. It's different. And come onto your heels. Now roll your shoulders back and try to have your spine long. Remember when chair, focus on keeping your spine long by looking up. So you're not looking down at your knees, I promise they're there. And scoop your abs in. Now engage your core, we're gonna come into boat. You can choose to stay here, we're gonna bring one heel and off the mat. Now rolling, you can roll back, and that's where you know you're too far back. You really wanna stay up onto those sit bones. Come back onto your sit bones, pull your belly button in. Knees hugged in, heels on the mat. Several options, you're gonna straighten your legs. But again, once you roll back, we're gonna come back up. So really engage your core. If you start to feel it more in your groin, I want you to scoop your abs in and bring your knees in a little bit closer. Now open your chest, so look up. Pull the belly button in and focus on keeping the core engaged. Come on, suck it in. You can still breathe and suck this in, I promise you. Holding for 5. Nobody has run out of breath here ever. 4. And it won't be tonight, will not be my first time, especially because I'm on tape for 3, 2, and 1. Now, we're gonna lower yourself down. And of course, it's on a count. So you're gonna slowly bring yourself down, heels and spine down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to relax. You're down, no work. Now we're gonna roll to one side, and bring yourself back up. So back to starting position. Back onto the sit bones, not on the bum, it's very different. Heels, pull your belly button in, abs pulled in, roll your shoulders back. Keep your spine long. Again, core, not groin. So find the core engaged. You can play with, okay, that's groin. Nope, I've got it. Now we're gonna row this boat. So bring your hands together. Again, heels wherever you want, pull your belly button in. Once you feel like you kind of roll back, come back up. You're kind of, your row boat is tall. Now, we're gonna row to the left. Sit bones are equal, you're just twisting through the torso. Come back to center, and then row to the right. Sit bones are equal, you're not lifting one butt cheek off. We're gonna come back to center, row to the left. Pull those abs in. Focus on, come on, scoop those abs in. Come back to center, and we're gonna row to the right. Back to center. Now, we're gonna sink this boat. Come down for 10. So think about where you need to go. Ready? We've got 10, 9, 8, too much. You're gonna have to hold where you are. 7, 6, abs pulled in. 4, 5, no, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I just had lifetime evidence that I can't count. So we're gonna bring your knees into your chest. Your back is going to stay on the mat. We're just gonna rock and roll from side to side. We're gonna bring your feet and knees together. Bring your hands down to your sides. And now bring your feet down to the mat. We're gonna lift your bum up off the mat and shift over 1 to 2 inches over to the right. So you lifted your bum off the mat and drop it down. Now we're gonna straighten your left leg here. And your right knee's gonna come over towards your left side. So let your left hand guide your right knee over. And reach your right hand out to your neighbor. Palm is down, palm is up, shoulder pressed down. Trying to straighten your right leg. Left leg is straight, as is the right. The right leg is over top, twisting. Pull your belly button in. And your left hand is now holding that thigh and challenging it. You're going from fighting, bringing the right shoulder off the mat and your right leg over. Neither are going to win. Let the twist happen through the torso. Pull the belly button in. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're going to slowly bring your right knee back to center. Now again, we're off center, so bring your feet down to the mat. You're going to recenter yourself to that starting position in equal neutral position. Bring your feet together, knees together, hands down to your sides. Then we're going to lift your sit bones up and shift 1 to 2 inches over to your left and drop that pelvis down. Now bring your right leg down to the mat. So right leg is straight. Your right hand's going to reach around and help guide the left leg over to your right side. As you take your left hand out to your neighbor, palm is facing up, anchoring that shoulder and straightening that left leg. So both legs are straight. The left leg is over you. Pull your belly button in and look over your left hand. So again, you're fighting as you're bringing your left shoulder off the mat and the left knee over. Neither's gonna win. Pull those abs in. That's gonna help with the twist. Is keep the core pulled in. you're thinking about your spine like a wet dish rag, it's twisting, breathing and smiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly bring the knee back to center. Again, you're off center, so you're gonna bring both knees in. You're gonna repositioning, centering yourself out, and just easy rocking and rolling from side to side. Just unlock that back a bit. And then we're gonna make our way to Shavasana. Bring both heels to the mat. Toes out, hands down to your sides. We're gonna close your eyes. Settling into a moment to just feel your breath. Feel the connection with your mat. Let the breath be effortless. Breathing in, breathing out. No holding, guarding, and surrender. Feeling that stillness, calmness, peacefulness. Feeling the chest rise and fall. Eyes are closed, lips are closed. And it's simply you and your breath. Then slowly allow the breath to bring you back to the presence of your mat. And in your space that completely surrounds you. Near the tips of your nose, your tips of your toes, fingers, top of your head, to your right, to your left, beneath you as well as on top of you. Fill your space with kindness, with gratitude, and with love. You have one and only one body. There are no redos. So choosing to be kind to your body, choosing to be grateful for not only your successes, but as well as your challenges. That is all part of your journey. And we're not worried about the destination, but we're embracing, encompassing, and celebrating that journey. Then, when you're ready, enveloping yourself with love. Then we're going to slowly open our eyes. A moment to just to the bit of light. Take a moment to be truly still, awake, present, and give yourself intentional stillness. That might be the most challenging part of tonight. Let the breath be natural, be effortless, and then when you are ready, you're going to make your way up to a seated position, however that transition may look like for you. Hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today. Just a reminder, don't forget to subscribe to Everyday Life Yoga with Kim and hit the little bell sign so you receive notifications when anytime I upload a video. Feel free to reach out to me on Yoga with Kim in Facebook or YeKim720 on Instagram and give me some ideas and poses you like, even the poses you don't like, because you know I'll always throw those in there. Have a great day.